stones. I might have a stones, yeah. It's still going chrome, yeah. I got the on, yeah. I got it on now. AP by style rap. A 50 on hour. I see through the skies, yeah. I spend every time. Look at their faces, they all still. 10,000 a time. Play with these rats, I'm a borrow plug. Flow like a butterfly, Lambo the beat. I take a shot in a pair of the seats. You see me popping, they staring at me. This ring, it cost me a hair on a key. I told my dentist to carrot my teeth. We racking the Bottega V. This Margiela 2003. Push started, you know I ain't least. Forgets. I'm cool on her, on the catch. She do what I said, she gon' fetch. I'm in this without regrets. Jimmy and my coupe, I SS. I drill when I walk, I'm possessed. This rose look good on my flesh. These Rolls Royce back to back, yes. I'm floating on this shit like a jet ski. Come on, can't test me. In Florence, Dubai next week. She chocolate, she like Nestle. Got broccoli, pockets is healthy. Binoculars and they Balenci. With the lit read, I'm trying to make 200 M, please. 100, walk around with 10 to D. VS Stone, sit back, stroll. Pull up Rolls truck. I'm rocking the Rolls one. Platinum and stones. I might have a stones, yeah. It's still going chrome, yeah. I got the on, yeah. I got it on now. AP by style rap. A 50 on hour. I see through the skies, yeah. I spend every time. Look at their faces, they all still. 10,000 a time. Play with these rats, I'm a borrow plug. When trade my team, I could never be a trader. Like Raiders, we ball, never thought they'd rate us. I'm going about to drop, I'm in label. But putting in this label, I ain't asking for favors. Drop me on smash the spraders. Ain't no big out of ass, tangle. No interviews, ask me later. Like take off, I'd rather be rich than famous, yes. Might go catch JoJo to protect. I know could be cool to collect. My diamonds and gold in the chest. Hit down me a Louis V chest. Put it on, I can go down me a R&B Virgil, he gave me the credit. 10 years from now, look back on the shit, and I promise I'm doing my best. They gross, NCS iconic. Let's go, let's count out this money. Good loaf, the bread and the butter. The toast, now ain't that ironic. I'm digging it up, he ain't throwing it. She hate when I go, she hook on like funny. I float, I'm smoking on this chronic. These diamonds, hit when it's signing. VS Stone, sit back, stroll. Pull up Rolls truck. I'm rocking the Rolls one. Platinum and stones. I might have a stones, yeah. It's still going chrome, yeah. I got the on, yeah. I got it on now.
Today, we're going to talk about the NFL draft, crafting up winners on the MLB Diamond, and let's cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines.
I feel like we got a Corbin Carroll, Nugenheimer off of something off speed. Can't walk him. Can't get him on the base pass. I think you got to pitch to him. And I don't know if it's going to end well.
That guy sucks, Jose Ferrer. Sure, he can throw 100 miles an hour. He has no idea where it's going.
There's
Zero
no way
clue.
you gassing up Ferrer, dude.
Zero clue where it's going. That guy, he might as well be pitching with a blindfold on.
And then Ty Jerome, this is where I will gladly take him to be pork. This is his perfect opportunity to shine, and he's been really good at taking these opportunities. So now that he has every single opportunity in the world where he's going to be pretty much the only starter in the lineup for a majority of the game against this Pacers defense, gladly, I will get involved.
Arrest Zach Campbell. Put him behind steel bars. Get this guy out of here. He is a f***ing loser, a scum, a lowlife who makes people's lives around him significantly worse to benefit his. He's a me guy, the textbook definition of a me guy. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, episode 685. Peace. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you are not tracking your bets on Pickett in the Big 2-5, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for a handwritten note to fall out of the fucking sky when you're walking down the street to tell you to download Pickett? That's not going to happen. Okay, all you're going to get is me yapping at you every single day, telling you to download Pickett. And if you have not already, you are a step behind. If you're betting on sports every day, if you're watching sports every day, and you're not using Pickett, what are you doing? We cannot help you out. Go check out Bookit Sports, the best bet tracking app out there by far on the App Store or Google Play. Wow, that was a mouthful. W. Jovan, WBTL, sure. Why don't we go ahead and hop into the recap? We'll get the cake out of the way for now, Jovan, because we got a lot better things ahead. Let's get it out of the way. Let's go ahead and get the squad ride over out of here. Get it out.
Cake.
And yes, rumor has it the Malachi Starks jersey is already on the way, en route to Baltimore.
Get that jersey out of here.
No, it's coming. Next Ed Reed.
Okay.
There's no way we're throwing that out here already, man.
Hey, Ed Reed
So
was drafted
disrespectful
too.
to
All
Ed
right,
Reed.
it's the same thing. No different.
Coots,
I mean, Ed
man.
Reed was drafted too. Of course, you have to get drafted.
I know it doesn't. So that means I can say that.
Coots.
Yeah.
We're not even in the second round of the draft yet, and we're calling him the next Ed Reed.
Well, I'm just fucking around, but I am a firm believer that you can't say shit about any of these players because they haven't played a single snap yet. So
Yeah.
excited for
Well,
Malachi, but we'll see.
Yep. And with the second round pick, the Commanders have selected Zach Hampel, wide receiver. Imagine. Over under half a Hokie. Hearing their name called tonight. I'm hearing that, and these odds have shifted actually
No.
for tonight. It's
Yeah,
closer
it
to a
should be
pick 'em.
1.5, wouldn't it?
Pick 'em. Probably. It should be. It should
Yeah.
be. We getting round 3 tonight as well, or just round 2? I think we get 2 and 3.
Yeah,
I
we get
know
2
for a
through-
fact it's 2 and 3.
And then we
I
get
didn't know
4
if it was
through
2, 3, and 4.
No,
Yeah.
we
It's
get
not
4
2, 3,
through
4.
7 on Saturday.
Okay.
And 2
Yeah.
through tonight.
Sure we can. Sure we can. Yeah, go ahead and bump that up. Actually, we got a line move here on the Krabs Sports.
That might be 2.5.
1.5. Yeah, no, honestly, it should be. Based off of talent, based off of hard work and blue collaredness, it should be 4.5, 5.5. But we'll
Yeah.
see who they end up taking. Right, a lot of great talent still left in the pool. All jokes aside, there are so many good players still left. I'm very excited to see how the second round starts off. Right, obviously Shador not getting picked. Crazy. Who would have thought Shador Sanders not going in the first round after throwing himself a draft party? Shout out Mikey Overs for maybe the funniest tweet I've ever seen. Roasting Shador Sanders for throwing himself a draft party and not even getting drafted. Look, there's one thing, you don't get drafted. It is what it is, whatever you move. It's very hard to get drafted in the first 32 picks in the NFL draft. It's actually damn near impossible. It's one of the hardest things to do on the planet. But when you celebrate like it's already happened and then it doesn't, I'm going to laugh at you right in your face. And that's what's going on right now. I do not feel bad at all for Shador. And also Shador will be just fine growing up with Pops, who will take care of him. And I'm sure he'll have a, talking to saying, hey, you never know what's going to happen. Right. And I'm sure he'll get a chance to prove himself and prove his worth. Although we've only ever seen one quarterback ever drafted in the second round in NFL history, which is crazy. They don't go in the second round. They never have. Maybe they will. Maybe Shador breaks that narrative. I don't know. But crazy stat that I heard during the draft last night. QBs never go in the second round. But do we think we hear Shador's name called early? I mean, the Browns got 2 picks in the top 5 picks in the second round, Jovan. Probably, right? But after seeing him fall a whole round, who knows?
Yeah.
Could
Be crazy. Could be crazy. I don't even know where he's going to end up at this point. Like what team needs him that's going to be able to get him?
I honestly think he could be a Saint.
Please. I would be on my knees for that.
I mean, I would love if he was in the AFC North so I could just torture him for years, but probably a Saint.
That would be
We got
hilarious.
Skeezy Boy coming in, dropping some bits as well. Want to gas him up real quick in the Twitch. W Skeezy Boy. Saints or Browns? I feel like the Browns are probably going to take him. They have 2 picks coming up in the next 5 picks. So I feel like he's probably going to go there. They'll take a shot at another QB, and we'll see how it works out. Richie's saying, I think he fits in with the Saints. Yeah, I could certainly see that as well. Yeah. Cooper, I saw last night only one quarterback has gotten drafted in the second round. Krabs, where'd you get that hat?
There's got to be more to that stat.
You think so?
There's got to be more to that. It was probably one that had done something or fits some other criteria.
Let's see. About to check right now. I'm going to do some Carfax checking there, but I did get this hat at Culture Kings, whoever was asking that in the YouTube chat. Marco.
Yeah,
it's actually the third one of these hats I bought.
Krabs legit went to Culture Kings to get the same hat that he already had.
Yeah.
That's just an attitude.
That is an attitude. We're going to be talking plenty about an attitude today on the stream. I got a feeling we're not done talking about an attitude. We got a big series starting up in DC tonight. You got Juan Soto coming back home. You got people asking the important questions. Should you boo him? Should you clap? Should you cheer? I don't really give a hoot what people do, but yeah, I'm very excited for this weekend, and I'm going to get to the ballpark probably tomorrow. Probably not tonight, but very excited to see Juan Soto's return to DC. What do you guys think? Should he get booed? Should he get cheered? I kind of think you should be able to do whatever you want. If you want to boo him, you can boo him.
Why
If you
would
want to
he get
cheer,
booed?
he won you a World Series. So if you want to cheer him, you can cheer him. But
I feel
I
like we're a
understand it.
little
He
past
looks like
the booze.
Megamind right now for turning down that contract that was in the 500 millions.
Yes, but he also hurt our team and the Nats, and that's why people might be in turn, they might boo him, right? Selfish people or people who are only worried about the Nats, not really looking at the bigger picture, understanding that the guy's got to do what he's got to do to get 2x more money. There's people that are still pissed about it. I'll leave it at that.
I guess I understand Harper, but Soto's a little different.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say they're the same, and I'd say I'd be booing Harper still, or at least not cheering for him, because he went and took more money somewhere else, and he could have taken less money to stay if he really wanted to. But there is one huge difference, like we already talked about, and that's bringing the title back to DC, and that's what Bryce Harper wanted to do. He said it verbally in a Phillies uniform by accident, and that's what Juan Soto actually did. So for that reason, Juan Soto can do whatever the hell he wants, because he won a World Series at 20 years old and couldn't even drink beers with the team afterwards because he wasn't even 21 yet. Insane. Also, Jovan W. haircut. Look at sharp.
Sure.
Look at sharp. All lined up, confident, ready to attack the slate today. If you don't think I'm tailing your plays today, you're crazy. You kidding me?
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're sweeping. Let's pull up the Sharp Report recap from yesterday and see how we did overall. Yeah, not our best work. I think we were due for some regression, like I always say. Certainly, it's been a pretty good 2 weeks, but
way too bright in these parts on the short slate, man.
Lights might have gotten a little too bright. Yeah,
way too bright.
That over on the ice, I still don't love overs on the ice, but I know there'll be another time when you come knocking and saying, Krabs, we got to take another over on the ice, and I'll be ready to go to battle. I will. But I'm hurt.
Elimination games
by the overs on the ice. The squares, not your best work last night. The Bodon one, I thought that was going to be green. I really did.
Yeah, I wish that game could have stayed a little closer and meant something.
And Mark Stone, he can ligma. Not even worried about him. Not even going to spend time on it. JT Ginn, on the other hand. Did anybody see how that one played out?
Turned into a quick home run derby.
The guy's having the start of his life, like I was talking about, like he was going to have, right? Looking at the prize pick square he had up there on the board, the 2.5 run runs allowed. The guy was having the start of his life. Next thing you know, Jovan, in the same inning, he gives up 3 solo shots. I guess it could have been worse. It could have been more runs, right? The fact that it was only 3 after giving up those rockets to right field. Honestly, could have been more.
Solo shot,
right?
Leody to Bears.
Well, yeah. I mean, then you start
that
looking
was,
at the guys.
That was the dagger one, I think.
That was the dagger. Yeah. Can't be giving up nukes to Leody Tavares. Sure. I do agree with you there, Goots. But JT, again, he almost had us, man. He almost had it, and he blew it. Gave up 3 solo shots in the 5th inning, I believe, and got yanked immediately after. Unbelievable. All right. But yeah, overall, not our best work yesterday. We're going to bounce back today. I like our chances. I like the slate. I love a lot of plays today. We're going to talk through them, Jovan. We got a lot to get to. And I'm looking at the YouTube chat right now. A lot of goats getting involved in the YouTube chats. People saying that stat I just said is not true at all in the YouTube chat. You guys might be right. And I'm going to check the Carfax on that.
There's for sure it was one quarterback that did something else or fit something else.
Okay. Yeah. Well, why don't we go ahead and get the plays moving? Why don't we go ahead and get the plays up here, the Sharp Report for today. Dive in. We got an early game starting up here this afternoon, but it's not till BTL already ends. So we got plenty of time. For now, get this one over with, I guess. Fading the Caps, back in the Canadians on the money line. This is a carbon copy. I know. Carbon copy of the Blues last night. That nobody really wanted to take. And as we got closer to puck drop, you started to see some minus signs next to the Canadians next to them on the ML, right? The Blues, right? I saw -1.5 as the closing line there, almost a pick 'em. Wouldn't be shocked if we see much of the same today for the Canadians, who showed that they can hang in game 1. Game 2, they got out to an early lead and they blew it. Game 2 was the one that everybody hopped on the Montreal Canadiens saying, all right, this is when the Caps drop one. So everybody's going to be hopping off back in the Canadiens on game 3. They're probably done with the Canadiens after they got burned in the first 2 games, especially in game 2. And the Canadiens, I think nobody thinks they have a single pulse in this game left or in this series left. But if there's one thing I know about the Caps in their postseason history, they never blow out teams. They never sweep teams. They get out to these early leads. I saw a crazy tweet. I could pull it up and find it. But Ovi, in his postseason career, when he gets out to a 2-0 lead, it's never easy. It almost seems like the team kind of parks the bus a little bit. They take their foot off the gas a little bit. And next thing you know, it's going 6, it's going 7. Sometimes they even lost those series. I'm going to pull up the stat because you guys scare me. I don't want to just be spewing the wrong stats in this economy. But yeah, here it is. Washington has taken a 2-0 series lead 6 times in the Ovi era. They've only won those series 3 times. They've lost 3 of those series, Jovan, where they started up 2-0. That's insane. And they've only taken a 3-0 lead 1 out of those 6 times. Crazy stat. That's absurd. We got Dilgod coming in hot, resubbing for 37 months as well, along with Mid-Major coming in hot. Mid-Major getting involved. We got subbies, folks. Sure we can. But my point is the Caps, they get up to an early lead and then they blow it, right? They don't have a closer. They don't have the clutch gene, although maybe this year's different with Ovi. The guy's a superhero. Looks like he took a time machine 10 years in the past. But I have a feeling that this is the one game the Canadiens actually steal. When all the sharps thought it was game 2, including myself, I thought it was game 2 as well. Didn't bet it, stayed off. Today, I cannot resist, Jovan. Plus a hundo back home. I have to bet on the Canadiens. It's one of those rare win-wins, right? I will happily donate a unit if the Caps want to go up here 3-0 and end up, coasting through this series. I will happily donate a unit for that. Are you kidding me? But it's a win-win. I'm going to put myself in this position because the Caps either win and they take my coins, which I don't think they do, or the Canadiens win. They get their first W of the series and they put some money in my bank account.
Yep. You're going to have to do it, Krabs.
Yep. Going to need to do it. We got a hype train moving and grooving. How about that hype train last night, folks? People forget
about it. Drum's still sitting up there and up and active, I think, too, after, 260?
Do we have Drum up and moving in the chat? We got by God in the chat, by God.
Drum wasn't chat. He said he's at work and he's not feeling too hot. But
okay.
He said he's living the dream. There he is.
Respect. Still showing up, still going to work. Drum your hem. 2 words, drum your hem. We got Pax Picks coming in, dropping a 5U sub whale. You sons of guns. You guys are bringing the energy today on Friday. Love to see it. How many subbies is that now in this account? Are we getting close to 3K, folks?
We're getting close there.
We're at 2679, I'm seeing. We're on the way. We're on the way to 3K subs. Come on, boys. You guys want Trent to do another 24-hour? There's an easy way to get that done. You get 3K subbies up
right
there.
Now.
Well, yeah, that was insane. I'll say, shout out Drum.
Probably the most
unbelievable
half-assed 24-hour he did last time, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it wasn't prepared for, so I'll give him that. It wasn't prepared for.
I also bailed on it, so I slept through it in the morning, so I take some blame there as well. I do. Like I was saying 2 days ago, lay off of Trent. He's killing it this week. He's grinding. He's streaming a ton.
If he was in the middle of one of his non-full-time streamer stretches, it would be able to get on him a little more. But he's been pretty locked. He's been pretty locked. Yeah.
You guys drop a sneak 24-hour stream on the guy. God forbid he doesn't close out the last couple hours heading into the daily shows where he have. Jeez. You guys are our harshest critiques. And you know what? That's a good thing. All right? That's a good thing. That's going to keep us moving up. We got Pax Picks coming in hot, giving out 4 biddies as well. When's the BTL 24-hour? And when's Krabs taking Buffalo to the ship? Oh, God, the Buffaloes. Not the great city of Buffalo that has the greatest wings of all time. The Colorado Buffaloes. When we get to 3K subbies, I'll announce when we're doing the BTL 24-hour. Okay? Huge. And I will lead the way for that charge. We do owe you guys a 24-hour. And would love to bully Trent to get him involved, at least for, half or a chunk of that too, along with the rest of the squad. Yeah, when we get to 3K subbies, I'll announce and pick a date. We'll set a date. We're honestly pretty close. That could be next week when we got to announce that. Okay. WPAX picks as well, coming in, giving out 5 subbies. I cannot let that get swept. I know I already gassed you up, but you are him, Pax Picks. We appreciate you, Goat. We could do the buff stream during that. We could play some. We'll have 24 hours. We can play some NCAA that night as well, and I could get Colorado that one championship they never got.
Yeah, we could even break it up the way Trent was saying he wanted to break it up. Do 2 12-hour streams on the weekend.
That's just making your own rules, though. Is that allowed?
That's what chat suggested. That's what they said.
Wow. You know, I really do like that idea, and I feel like you would get more out of it. And also people can, go to sleep at a normal time at night.
Yeah.
Not be just nocturnal owls, right? Yeah, that's something we could talk about. Sure. Krabs got to get his jersey retired in Colorado, Spain. It doesn't seem that hard. All it takes is an over 500 record and a couple flexes of your Rolex that your dad bought you. Shouldn't be that tough, right? 2-step process. What a fool. Oh, if that's not a wake-up call for that guy, I don't know what is. I wonder how those meetings went with Shador and some of these teams. I'll tell you, actually, I know how they went. Not well. Or else he would have been drafted already. Shocker. They didn't want to work with Shador. Okay. We'll keep moving and grooving. We got plays to go over here. Enough talking about Shador and the Canadians. Let's swing it around to Jovan's first straight bet here. Very curious. Oh, he's taking us to DC. Juan Soto's return.
Oh,
Sure
we're
he
going
can.
to DC. Juan Soto's return, Krabs, but hopefully the return of Turks.
Wow.
Kodai Senga has been absolutely fantastic. 3 straight outings, not allowing a single run on the board. You can call it a little triple bagel for Kodai Senga. Coming into Nats Park today, I think he is going to get destroyed, which part of it is not only the fact that we have a 9.5 total with 2 pitchers that have frankly been really damn good recently, not just Kodai Senga, who's been superhuman a majority of the season, obviously even better the last couple starts, but your guy Jake Irvin's been damn good too, Krabs. And seeing a 9.5 total, I know the Mets are coming off a really good series where I think they scored 4+ runs in every single series, but the only other 9.5 total, 9.5 or higher total that the Mets have had all season was that game that I took the over in Sacramento in game 1. This is the only one they've had since then, and you're telling me it comes with Kodai Senga on the bump, who's been superhuman. I think some things are to come, and part of that's because he's had struggles against lefties really since he's been brought up. The last couple games, he hasn't really had to face a lot of teams that are loaded with lefties. Now, especially with your guy CJ Abrams back in the lineup, the Nats have a lot of pop from the left side and a lot of guys that I think are going to give him big-time trouble. So I think the Nats offense is going to show up in a big-time way today. I don't want to leave Jake Irvin out of it either. Jake Irvin plus the bullpen for that matter too, because he's been really good his last couple of starts. This Mets team is patient. They're a team that also has a lot of lefties that I think can cause some issues as well. So I think this 9.5 total, I mean, one of the more telling lines that I've seen in the last couple weeks in all of these baseball totals, I will die on that hill 11 times out of 10, starting right here.
I'm seeing there's some rain in the forecast late night tonight. I really hope that doesn't impact this game.
Yeah.
A little, still less than 50%, although it's getting close. And that's, around 9-10 p.m. tonight. The game could be done by then. Might not have an impact. I guess my nightmare there, what scared me looking at that right now, because I saw somebody in the chat saying rain, ? It would suck to, do all this work. You have a great bet. Next thing you know, the game gets fucking rained out in the 7th, or they don't finish the game, and then your total doesn't cash. But what can you do? We're not meteorologists up here. We can't predict the weather. It doesn't look that bad. But we'll see what happens. And again, those weather apps, they have no fucking idea. They're like 30% accurate. How do they still have jobs? They're worse than dub club cappers. How do they still have jobs? It makes no sense.
We only trust Kevin Roth in these parts.
That's the only guy I'm looking at weather reports for. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll check his tweets before I go on vacation. Dude's accurate. Also, I'm pretty pissed you have UVA up here, +1.5. I know we're up here laughing, having a good time, but UVA?
Yeah.
Didn't bring it up once, just snuck it on there, huh?
I was waiting for the line to drop, Krabs. I was staring at it.
All right. Well, we'll come back to that. I'm in no rush to talk about that Mooshit team. We'll swing it around. We'll save that one for last. For now, let's swing it around to the Yankees.
The way you're bitching about the UVA and you have the Yankees up there.
Yeah, the same. Tomato. Same team. Different level here. Yankees and UVA are the same in my brain. Yes, back
fading
in
your team. Fading your team and taking the Yankees for your first 2 plays, Krabs. I don't want to hear it about UVA.
It's a good point. The Yankees on the ML today against Barrios. I mean, look, Carlos Carrasco opened up minus 145 in this game. That's all I need to know that the Yankees are winning. And even if they opened up minus 125 where they're sitting right now, shit, they're up to minus 135 again, actually. Now that I look at it, they've actually caught a little bit more steam since before the show. But that's all I needed to see. Carrasco laying that juice. And I know the Yankees get, a Yankee tax and they're home, and Toronto's still sub 500. Well, Barrios is a pretty respected arm. And I know that Toronto is, on this little bit of a losing streak here, but what do we know about streaks in baseball? You don't get in the way of them. You don't fade them unless you want to lose money or stress yourself out, right? It doesn't work. I wish it did. If it worked, I'd be a lot richer. It just doesn't fucking work, dude. Lean into it, fade it. At least don't, try to catch the falling knife with these teams on these losing streaks. It simply doesn't work. Toronto right now has lost 5 games in a row, and Carrasco's opening up minus 145. Yeah, that's enough to get me involved. It's not like the Yankee bats have been doing, anything to write home about of late. They've also lost 3 of their last 5. So it's not like they're going to be getting fat, happy, and complacent, but they show me enough in their last game 2 days ago. They put up 5 runs in the last game of that series against the Guardians, a team that they typically struggle against, a team that they typically don't score much against. So that, put up a 5 spot and leaving that series with a W on the road is enough momentum for me to want to back the Yankees here after a day off as well. Could be the difference. Get that bullpen rested up. You're probably going to need them in the 5th or 6th inning. Because Carrasco, if he even gets through 5 innings, I will be pleasantly surprised here. He's like Trevor Williams. You can only expect so much from the guy. But looking at his earned runs allowed square, Jovan, that we'll talk about in a moment. When we get to the squares, pretty ridiculous looking square. Reminds me a lot of that Cade Povich square. It was up yesterday that had just no business being up. What do you know? Cade Povich gives up less than 2.5 earned runs. We see the same thing at a cookie cutter Carrasco against a much better lineup in Toronto today, although they're struggling and losing. Pretty weird seeing that square up, and pretty weird seeing the odds at minus 130 to the under on the books. Leaning into that angle, and I want to back the Yankees bats against Barrios and the Blue Jays. I think they get a big-time win today at home.
Sure. I feel like this has a lot of the makings of a really bad Barrios start, which when he's tossing turkeys, it gets really bad, especially against a lineup that can use that short porch pretty often. And I think they can today. I mean, the total in this game is high, 9.5, depending on where you look. And I'm staring at the Carrasco earned run square. I don't know if it's going to come from him.
Yeah. Weird. Probably the weirdest square I saw up on the MLB board today. Had to lean into that. Super fucking weird. And in one of these cases, I care more about the opener. Carrasco minus 145. Give me a break in the big 2-5 with how he's looked of late. Come on. And yeah, the Yankees bats against Barrios, that's not even that high of a take. They've seen him plenty. They should be able to do job and put up some runs against Barrios, right?
You would hope so. Maybe
swinging around.
Anybody but your guy Judge.
Oh yeah, we don't need him doing anything special.
Yeah, even though he's been red hot, but he hasn't hit.
Yes.
He's been red hot recently, but he hasn't been hitting balls over the
He's
wall.
being a team player.
Yeah,
Jovan, team player, not being a me guy, not making it about himself, not getting on ESPN, not trying to break any records, not trying to hit any solo shots. Put the ball in play, hit the ball hard. Your teammates take notice of that. They see that up at the dish. They say, "Oh, Aaron Judge up there. He's not being a me guy. He's not swinging for the fences. Shit, I'm going to go up there and try to put the ball in play as well." Next thing you know, the Yankees have 5 runs. That's team ball right there. That's small ball. Something Aaron Judge needs to do more of, and he has been of late. I will give him that. He's been doing the small ball. I'll give him that.
So you're saying when anyone on any team hits a home run, the teammates look at him like, "Oh, me guy."
Well, when you're the captain of the New York Yankees in pinstripes, that's a me guy move. Me guy move. Now, if James Wood's leading off a game with a home run, that's another story because that sets tone. That sets tone. That's an alpha move. But when Aaron Judge does it, me guy move. Me guy move.
There you go.
Jovan, I want to hear the sell job for the over in this A's game. What do you got?
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember the game between these two teams that was in Chicago at the South Side. Last time they played, I took the over in that game with a 7.5 total, obviously a little lower given the circumstances. And one of those pitchers is the same pitcher that's there now, and Sean Burke going against the A's. The A's just did have a relatively low scoring series for their standards. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times we've seen that low of a run output in their games in Sacramento, like they did the last 2 games against the Rangers, which I mean, extras played a little part in that too, so it could have been even less. So I think this is a similar situation like what the opposite we do in the Sacramento series when teams are coming in cold and they see that team or see a game for the first time, like the first game of the last series with the Rangers and the first game like the Mets series. And we talked about that. I think it'll work the opposite where they just had a little bit of a sleepy series against the Rangers where the pitching dominated, I think, a lot more than a lot of people expected to, especially the bullpens in the back end. And now you get to face the White Sox and a pitcher you've already seen, a pitcher you've already destroyed, and I think they get right back at him. Sean Burke has a big-time barrel problem. It was a big problem at Chicago and the South Side, and I think it's going to be an even bigger problem when you're playing them in Sacramento now, too. The entirety of the top of that lineup, that was like one of the super rare everybody gets involved for the A's type game. Usually you have like the one-offs when we're building demon slips where like Rooker doesn't do something that given day, like Butler doesn't do something that given day. Look at what they all did against Sean Burke in that game. It was the entire team getting involved and getting involved early because they jumped on him very quickly. So I think that's going to happen again, frankly. And then the White Sox are coming off a big win yesterday. But the other side of it, why I really didn't want to isolate the Ace, you see Luis Severino's last start?
Gem.
That might have been one of the best Sevy starts I've seen in a while. And he was dominant, went 8 strong, which I don't think anybody was expecting. 8 strong, 1 run, dominated the Brewers. Obviously a much better offense than the White Sox. But the difference is the White Sox, for as bad as they are just as an overall team and an overall offense, even against righties, like they hit the ball in the air a lot more than you'd think. So like for a sinker baller like Luis Severino, it doesn't really work all that much. And I think that can kind of work to, I guess, not only hit him up a little bit and all of his numbers are a little high. And I guess I'm referring to the hits and runs when talking about that, but look at his fantasy score too. How many times do you think you can see a guy coming in with a green chart the last couple of games, especially coming off like an 8-inning almost shutout, and your number is going to be lower than that against the White Sox? I think that's not going to be because there's any sort of strikeout regression because he only had like 1 K last game against the Brewers. I think it's going to be because the White Sox get the ball in the air and maybe they utilize the short porches on both sides a little bit. So I've got guys that I think can do that, but I don't think Sevy has a spotless start either. So I just wanted to go with a little over.
I think it's a great looking play. I know it's still an over, and Burke is nothing special. Severino overall is nothing special, although he's coming off that great start. I think it's a great spot for an over, especially in a ballpark that we could have some help as well with the factors going on there, and the ball flies a little bit more there. And we have not seen the ballpark really being a factor in that last series there. We got 3 straight, or at least 2 straight unders. I guess the first game of that Rangers series did go over.
Yeah.
But the next 2 went soared under. You're right. That was the over we took. And then immediately 2 unders right after. Offenses were pretty stagnant. And also shout out the A's for stealing 2 wins there at the end of that series. That's a team that plays up and down to their comp. Shout out Mikey. Shout out the A's. They play up to their comp. They do. Yeah. They can hang with anybody now. Right? I love this over. Love this play. And I'm looking at Luis Severino, 4.5 hits allowed. The chart looks like it should be a normal square. If not, it honestly looks high.
I know. That's what I was. I'm looking at all of this. Like how many times can I look at a guy's squares and say that his numbers look odd in favor of the White Sox offense against him? Because I can do that for like the hits allowed in terms of the more than, or like his fantasy score is. I would assume that to be higher because not the White Sox strike out a lot less than I guess people realize too at times. It's just when you think about the White Sox, you think everything about just getting dominated by a pitcher. You think they're going to strike out a million times, especially for a guy coming off of 1 strikeout, and his line's not even higher than the last 2 games against the Brewers and the Mets. That feels incredibly telling, which is why I didn't leave out the White Sox.
Yeah, you might as well include them in this puppy. Runs from both sides. We got hella followers coming in here as well on the Twitch. New followers. We got RoboTeach, Ethan B, Kane. We got Drew Starr coming in. Brandon the Walk coming in. DM coming in. Shazam coming in. Chucky Dog, Nobles, Flax, Sesame Seed. Sure we can. Those all came in the last 2 minutes. Get us to 50K followers. We are so close on Twitch. There's another one. W's. If you guys are a new watcher, new viewer, whatever you want to call it, drop a follow on the Twitch. It is free. And subscribe on the YouTube if you're watching on YouTube as well. Also free. Get us to 50K followers on the Twitch. We are so close. We got Shazam coming in, first-time chatter. W's. Sure we can. We got I think is that Trent in the chat doing a new follower giveaway?
Yeah.
Send it to Ma and Pa. I made a giveaway tweets. Let's go, Trent. All right. Let me go check out what he's got going on over there.
Sure.
Little Trent giveaway action.
Here we go.
Sending a new follower on the Twitch channel $100 to bet with today. W Trent must be a new follower. We'll announce winner on stream. Okay, and that stream is right after this one, guys, 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so stick around. We got some new followers coming in. Trent's trying to get us to 50K. Come on. We are so close. We're like just over 250 followers away from 50 on Twitch. That's nuts.
Huge.
We are so close. We are so close. W's chat, we appreciate all you guys, the new and the old followers. Okay, I know we're doing a giveaway here for the new guys, but cannot let it get swept. All the OGs in here, we appreciate all you goats showing up, showing out every damn day, showing face in the chat. Appreciate all you guys. Okay, hella followers coming in. W new followers. Okay, if you like sports, if you like betting on them, you came to the right place. W Trent. All right. Excited for the surge stream today. Trent's dialed in.
Dialed. Super rare.
All right. We're going to come back to that UVA play. Save it for last because I don't want to talk about it or think about it. We'll start with this Paul Skeens versus the Dodgers under tonight. Jovan, Paul Skeens, look, the ERA is fine, sub-3. But if you've watched Paul Skeens this season, he has not looked as sharp. He hasn't had a vintage, crazy strikeout game yet. He hasn't had that, Steven Strasburg type performance where, his off speed is humming and his fastball looks like it's 105, although it's 98. He's got that extra gear on that fastball. I don't know. He has not looked like the guy yet this season. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's saving some strength, saving some juice for middle of the season. He doesn't want to get too ahead of himself here or, burn out in the beginning of the year. But we have not seen a vintage Skeens start really yet. I think we get one tonight, Jovan, when the people least expect it. On the roads in LA against one of the most formidable lineups in baseball. I think we get a vintage Skeens gem tonight against one of the best teams in baseball. I do. This total's dropping down to 6.5 some places now. Guys, if the Dodgers were going to do job and put up some runs against Skeens today, respectfully, that total probably would not be sitting at 6.5 or dropping down to 6.5. Okay, I know Yamamoto's been damn near unhittable. I know he's got that crazy ERA. He's been so fucking good for this squad of late. I know. He has. And that definitely has something to do with his total being this low as well, with him pitching against this moose shit Pirates team. Well, the Pirates have shown some heart of late. They put up a couple runs at the dish of late. I mean, they're coming off probably their best offensive series, at least on the road so far this season. Now they head to LA. You'd think the total might be a little bit higher, right? Skeens hasn't been as dominant. You got the Dodgers bats going against him. You're assuming they're going to get a couple runs off of him. Maybe the Pirates don't score much off of Yamamoto, but they're probably good for 1 or 2. They're coming off their best offensive series on the road this season. I want to fade that angle. I want to fade that offense coming off their best series on the roads and lean into Yamamoto having another gem. That dude's literally unhittable right now, knock on wood. And I want to lean into Paul Skeens having his best start of the season tonight on the road against a team nobody expects it to be against, but a team that's been known to strike out a time or two. And if you guys don't think Skeens is going out there getting a couple Ks tonight, go take a peep at his strikeout square up on Prize Picks. It's tucked away, hidden behind a goblin. It looks pretty high to me as well once you get to that regular square. Interesting. Maybe they don't want you to take that Skeens square today. Well, I do. We'll talk about Skeens a little bit more here in a moment. Got a feeling we're getting his best start of the year when the people least expect it tonight.
Sure. Did you see that Trent offered a full nude to the feed if Skeens gets 10Ks today?
No shots. So number one, that's going to happen.
ESPN body issue.
ESPN body issue from Trent.
Look, he's pulling out all the tricks, right? We've seen that movie before, unfortunately, for the OGs. He's pulling out all the tricks, Jovan. He's doing whatever he can to get that 10K game.
And Rav said it's really hot.
Okay.
Wrap up.
I'm not. All right, Rav, you can be the one that does that photo shoot.
Is he talking about,
Yeah,
is he
you can
talking
take
about the weather?
pictures.
Or
You can take the pics.
what is he talking about being really hot? The weather? The temperature?
I don't think that's what he's talking about.
Is he talking about Trent?
He might be.
He might have been.
Might have
Rav.
been.
Who knows?
It's
Poor
weird that
Dave.
you guys live together. What's going on over there?
Poor Dave taking those pictures 3 years ago, bro. Fucking covering his eyes.
I
these
can't
good,
even
Trent? Are these good?
imagine Dave getting up and taking those pictures.
Covering his
for the
eyes,
OG
taking the
one.
pic. They're probably like all sideways and shit because he's not looking. Trent, are these good? Can't even imagine.
God, bro. That's
Oh
awful.
man, that's
Awful.
so funny. Well, I'm talking about the Krabs sell job. God damn it! All right, we got
Sure.
Rav's answer.
I'm
That is
sure.
nuts.
We got Rav's answer.
That's
Crazy
for sure,
timing for a
Cat.
chat like that, Rav. But I appreciate the support. Good to see you lurking in the chat. Good to see you lurking in the chat. I fucking bet. I'm sure he's pretty hyped about that. Paul Skeen sell job though for tonight, and I'm sure the rest of the 8 billion people are rooting against his 10 strikeout game tonight, so we don't have to see that picture. But knowing how the world works, he might just be getting 10Ks tonight. He just might. Yep. We got it's Jesus. It's Ham Gaming coming in. First time chatter. Just followed my dude. Let's go. It's Ham Gaming. Sure we can. We got tons of followers coming in. W tweet Trent. Getting the people active, up and moving this afternoon. Love to see it. All right. Swinging around. Let's get the UVA sell job over with. All right. I've put it off this far. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Really interesting game tonight, which to preface all of college baseball tonight, I mean, this is honestly situationally like a really good series, but there's so much good action on the diamond today. Whether it's Texas A&M, which if you're not watching, honestly, including the MLB, like you probably should turn on that series tonight. I assume it's nationally televised somewhere. You got that. You got LSU, Tennessee, a lot of great games.
Wow.
But UVA, I wanted to take them today because of them, like situationally too. It's a weird kind of road for them right now because they have back against the wall, I think, pretty much for the rest of the season. They need to get big time wins, and this is not just like a need to win play, but they got put in an unfortunate spot partially because they need big time wins against a lot of these ranked opponents in the ACC. But unfortunately, they had to be the team that was playing at Florida State last weekend. So obviously, with the situation that transpired there, they weren't able to play those games. They had to come back home and wait till the midweek slate. But I think that was kind of the kick in the ass they needed. And you can kind of tell by the way they came out in the midweek games. Granted, they were against two really bad teams. They had like a little doubleheader against JMU and Georgetown, but the offenses came out firing. They also used a couple of their back end like starters. They threw a couple innings, and I think they kind of needed to after not pitching against Florida State in the weekend series before that. But they used some arms. So I think this game, when they got Jay Woolfolk on the mound against a Georgia Tech team that, frankly, is not playing great baseball right now. They've lost, I think, 4 in a row. They got swept in the last weekend series against Miami. The offense is starting to cool down just a little bit. I think that's something that's going to carry out through the rest of the ACC season. This Virginia team, I think, again, starting with the Georgetown and JMU games, it's not something you can really pay attention to. Those are two absolutely awful programs right now in baseball. So it's not like you can go and say, oh, they put up really great performances. Let's take that into stock. But the way they came out on offense, I think, is something to pay attention to because that was the part that was struggling with them for the entirety of the ACC season. So now that you really have back against the wall, they came out super aggressive early. They're swinging a lot of first pitches. You're probably going to have to need that against not only this game, but this whole series against Georgia Tech. The pitching is going to need to bounce back. You have your ace on the mound tonight with very uncertain pitching situation, at least on Sunday, because that's going to be a big-time bullpen game. So this feels like the push all your chips in game for Virginia tonight on the Friday night against Georgia Tech. You got to catch them while they're kind of reeling right now, and I think they do. I think they get it. I do think it's a close game too, so probably one that's going to come down to late game. So I grab the +1.5. It's only -105, so you're not paying juice or anything, but this has to be a game for UVA, I think, to get yourself back in the conversation.
Well, I hope you're wrong, but I think you're right after hearing the sell job. By God. Looking like a good play. +1.5 against Georgia Tech might be a little overrated. Yeah, it's probably the move tonight.
I don't know about overrated, but Georgia Tech, I guess you could argue, I mean, they had a very soft front half of the ACC schedule. Now that the back half's starting to kick in a little bit, the bats are going a little colder, and I think it's not quite fraudulent, I guess you could say, the start to the season, but seeming like a little different of a team.
Okay. We got hella first-time chatters, a ton of new follows on the Twitch as well. You guys are goated. W Trent. Shit's working. We got Shashur coming in. W name, first-time chatter. It's me. I'm the first-time chatter, but I watch hella TikTok videos, he says. Okay, sure. We got tons of goats in here. K. Kelly. We got Payne Gaming. We got Eric Kunu coming in hot. We got the Broshi coming in, first-time chatters. Hella new goats getting involved on the Twitch stream today. Love to see it.
Let's go.
Love to see it. All right. What's up, new peeps? W. Turner Mac as well. OG goats. Have not talked Cubbies yet. We're going to get there. Dave Martinez is burner for now. Let's keep powering through, and let's craft up some prize pick squares. Let's talk about some prize pick squares that we're loving for today, and I'll drop the Sharp Report 4-man as well. And after our squares last night, I mean, we're due for a much better performance and some better squares for today. Carlos Carrasco. Yeah, this one should do the trick. Less than 2.5 earned runs allowed. I mean, you'd have to be an insane person to lock this square in, or the smartest person in the room, right? And I want to be in that, the latter category where, I want to have a ticket with, Carlos Carrasco less than 2.5 earned runs allowed in a lineup. I really do. And I think he can go out there and do enough, right? This square reminds me of that Povich square yesterday that just had no business being up on the boards. The guy's been getting mucked up, coming off a terrible outing. And honestly, this chart's even more green. I have to fade it. I have to take the less than 2.5 earned runs allowed. And to be honest with you, that's not really fading Carrasco. It's fading that square and backing Carrasco to go out there and do well and keep Toronto off the fucking scoreboards. Look, this is still a team that's on a crazy losing streak right now. And, I hate to kick a team while they're down, but, I think this is a good opportunity for Carrasco to go out there and, find an edge or have a pretty good outing against a team that has no confidence, no aura, and a team that's continuing to struggle on the roads. I think we got to keep fading this Toronto team that they just don't have the juice, right? Vladdy's great. He's, paid like it as well now, but the results we're still waiting for overall, and the rest of the lineup needs to show up. Until they do, let's keep fading, and let's back the Yankees and Carrasco to go out there and shove early on in this game. As we get 5 subbies coming in from Slim Smith. Let's go, Slim Smith.
Let's go,
Atta boy. Tons of new follows, tons of new subbies. Trent, Slam Diego coming in hot with a follow. Luke Lemon coming in hot. We got Migzilla. We got King Rochard, the Juice Man, Santiago. Too many names to count. My goodness. We got Manny Bands coming in resubbing. Shazam coming in resubbing. Total Slayer coming in giving out 10 subbies. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, boys? Yeah. Have a day. Have a day, Slayer. Somebody wants to get a squad ride up and moving. Cash one tonight. We're going to spend some extra time on that puppy, Total Slayer. You better be tailing tonight. Okay? People are calling him a BTL merchant. Yep. Trent's not happy about it, but I am. We got Pax Picks coming in hot with a 5-unit subby. Let's go, Pax. Atta baby.
Pax.
Sure we can. Sure we can. Chat's splooging today on a Friday. They're hyped for some BTL action. They're hyped for some plays, and they're hyped for some Trent bitching. He goes, oh, here we go. Guys, if there's one thing Trent hates, it's seeing all these subbies splooging right before the third stream. And he fires up his show. Friday vibes are high, Mahoney. Sure we can. He hates it. He hates it. Yep. Trent be nuking. Good to see Trent in the chat, though. Good to see all you goats. Some W new and old faces, some OGs as well. You guys deserve some credit and some respect. Appreciate all you guys coming in here, even the goats who aren't subbing up, even the goats who are just joining here for free or lurking in the chat. Appreciate you guys as well. Okay. As we get some more subbies coming in from Jack LLVS coming in hot. 5 subbies. Total Slayer coming in with a 10-unit whale. Sure we can. Sure we can. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. All right. Keep the subbies flowing, guys. I'll keep gassing you guys up and shouting you out. You guys are fucking goated. You are goated. Line Shopper, hey BTL, how come you guys are not monetized on YouTube so you can accept coin on here? I think it's because of the songs and intro stuff we play, and we can't, we're not able to do that because of the intro music and some of the stuff we play in the background. So I'm sure Gucci will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So if you want to bless up the chat or give a subby or donate or whatever, you got to make your way over to Twitch. And if you guys are scared of Twitch, maybe you're old school, right? If I try to tell like one of my parents to download Twitch, they look at me like I have 10 eyeballs. It's okay. I promise you guys it's easy. It could not be easier. If you want to make that migration, Twitch, Fire app, you download it. I guarantee you when you open up that app, we're probably the first stream that pops up. You click on it, you subscribe, or you follow on Twitch. It's free. Could not be easier. And if you want to drop some subbies, feel free. Get involved. Lockmyth getting involved with some subbies.
Let's
go, Lock. Lock, you're him, bro. You're him. We got a Phillies game starting up here soon. We will talk about that game. For now, I want to hear about Jovan's 2 prize pick squares here, man.
2 HRRs for you, Krabs.
Wow.
Start with your Nats and CJ Abrams, who,
Wow.
correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is his second game back, and he didn't do anything yesterday.
Correct.
So this is where I think he comes back and he makes a big time statement. And I don't know, just for me as like a semi-casual pay attention to the Nats guy, it feels like every single like big time emotional game or something, some game in DC that holds a little bit of weight, CJ Abrams happens to be the guy a lot of the time. But I think the matchup is there too. Obviously, something is wrong with how everything sets up in this game for Kodai Senga. The obvious part of it that I already talked about is that there's a lot of lefties in this lineup. Obviously, CJ Abrams is one of them, but he's faced him before quite a few times, and there is a very consistent thing that he did. He pounded him with cutters because CJ Abrams at times has had trouble kind of pulling stuff that's coming into him to right field. And I don't know if there's like a deliberate change in that since it's last happened. Like he hasn't faced him in 2 years because like Senga didn't pitch much last year, but that's the approach he took. CJ Abrams has been much, much better, especially this year when he's been healthy, obviously, and pulling the ball to right field. So if you do that again, I think that's going to be a problem. If you don't do that and you just throw him regular fastballs, those have been getting crushed from Kodai Senga this year, which you wouldn't be able to tell because he's been one of the most fortunate pitchers in all of the MLB with his fastball. He's got a -1 run value, which you would think would equate to really bad numbers against it. No, hitters are hitting 310 against it. So whatever you're going to do against CJ Abrams with your fastball, whether you want to throw a regular four seam, whether you want to throw the cutter, I think it's going to get hit hard. The fork has generated a lot of chases, and certainly if CJ Abrams has no discipline, he can fall victim to that. I don't think that's going to be the way this happens today. I think that with especially what we expect from Senga, when he has these really bad starts, it's because the fastball gets hit really hard or the cutter gets hit really hard. CJ Abrams is one of the guys that I think can do it. So I'm riding with him. Then I'm riding with Andrew Benintendi. I had to find a White Sox. Definitely going to be just straight up fading Severino in some form or some fashion, maybe with the fantasy score. But I wanted to find my White Sox guy. And for Severino, like, I guess Benintendi on paper is not the biggest fly ball hitter, so it doesn't set up as like the smash spot of a matchup, but kind of same deal where like Severino, when he has struggled, it's been against lefties, and when he has struggled, it's been against lefties that can hit the fastball pretty well. And he's a sinker ball pitcher, but increasingly, I don't know if again it's some like planned attack or like what he's changing his arsenal wise, but he's not really throwing the sinker nearly as much to lefties. It's been a lot more four seam fastball, and if you do that against Andrew Benintendi, which I think you're going to have to because Benintendi, since he's been back, has been crushing off speed. That's going to be a problem. When Benintendi like is able to sit on a pitch, you can tell there's a very visible difference in his approach to the plate. That's when he's locked in. That's when he has the random home run notifications that everybody just says, what the hell, Benintendi in the big 2-5. I think it's the perfect matchup for him to do that, especially expecting some regression from Severino after the last couple starts, last one against the Brewers especially. So he was looking at me incredibly funny today, Krabs. It made some sense, so man.
Yeah, the Benintendi one I could get behind because we like runs in that game. The CJ one is, I think, the perfect time, right? I talked about it yesterday, at least when I went on the Surge stream after the lineup came out, and I said, you know what, I like this first 5 under even more yesterday because CJ's back officially. He's starting lead off. He's hitting lead off. And his first game back, especially against a lefty, I knew nothing good was coming out of that. And I've also seen him return from injuries and shit. And it's taken him a game or so to get back. Well, tonight, after that shit show last night, after the Nats lost last night, tonight's a pretty big game in DC. And you hit the nail on the head, Jovan. This team, they come and go with CJ Abrams, right? It really comes down to CJ when it comes to winning games. And not having him in the lineup, the fact that they were able to squeak out as many wins as they did, I was very impressed by it. That's why I didn't bitch too much about it. And James Wood is the best talent by far in that lineup and on this team, but he's not the glue guy. He's not the heart and soul of the squads. He's not the livelihood or the I don't know. He's not the glue of the squad like CJ Abrams is. Typically, they come and go with him. If they want to put up a big number today, if they want to bounce back after that loss last night, if they want to beat Mr. Soto coming into town with his new squads on his high horse, very expensive new horse, right? And some could say that horse is underperforming a little bit. It's a little slower than people were expecting after you give that horse all that money. He's coming into town with his squadron, right? They have the MLB best records. So not only you got the Soto angle, but you also just want to beat the best team in baseball that's in your division too. A lot of different motivational angles here. And while everybody's going to be back in Juan Soto making his return to DC, which, by the way, I'm sure he goes out there and does job tonight. I will have coins on his more than fantasy score if he has a square up there. I'm worried about the walks a little bit, but he will be vintage Soto. He will be putting up runs today. But on the other side, Jovan, it's going to be one guy getting the offense going. It's a leadoff man. it's CJ. It always is. It always will be if he's in that damn lineup. And
are they going to hit him lead off?
yeah, they will. It'll be Abrams in the leadoff. He was leadoff last night against a lefty. So
yeah, I was interested to see if they're
really
going to stick to that when he came back.
So they asked Davey Martinez about it, and he said he's going to think about it over the next couple of days. But as of right now, he is putting CJ out there in the leadoff spot, I'd imagine, for the rest of the week. And we'll go from there. And maybe Davey will make a switch down the line. But the end point he closed out that question with was, he said, man, I'd love to get CJ on base for James Wood, was what he closed it out with. And I do think at the end of the day, that is the game plan. And let's not forget, we were about to give up on CJ Abrams. Last resort, 2 years ago, they said, fuck it. Before we send him down, we'll put him in a leadoff spot, see if it works. It did wonders. You know why? Because you fixed his headspace. You fixed the mental for the kid who had no confidence whatsoever. San Diego lets go of him in that trade. He can't be feeling good about it. He's over here on DC on this crummy team. He's not feeling good about it. You plug him into the leadoff spot. You make him the livelihood of the squad, the life and soul of the team. Next thing you know, the results are there. It's hard for me to make that make sense, taking him out of that leadoff spot, even with the success we saw out of James Wood over the last 2 weeks. I still think you got to put CJ in that leadoff spot. The hits are still going to flow from James Wood. Maybe not as many home runs. Like we saw a Schwarber-esque performance from him over the last 2 weeks. That's the one thing making me think, maybe it should be James Wood, but you got to give CJ a shot first. 100% coming back from this injury. You have to.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a big plus if James Wood stays hot and CJ Abrams is getting on base, not just for not just for our square, but just for the Nats offense period.
Yep. And I'm going to be honest with you here. CJ Abrams is not going to cash this for you, hitting 2 base knocks, getting on base for James Wood tonight. Not tonight. No. If CJ Abrams is making a statement in this game tonight, Jovan, he's hitting the ball 450 to right field, pulling one and pimping it right in Soto's face.
Into the pen.
Already seen it. It's happening. It's been a while, too. And all this James Wood talk, all these James Wood bobbles, I'm sure CJ wants to get his name thrown around the ring a little bit more in the coming days. And a home run tonight could go a long way. I've already seen it. I've already seen it. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here. And by the way, James Wood somehow has like 45 RBIs already this season. Riddle me that. And he's hitting the leadoff spot for half the games.
Yeah, he's
unbelievable. That guy. Unbelievable. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Jovan, I did drop the Sharp Report 4-man squares. I dropped the link to the lineup in the chat. I'll drop it again for the people in the back. There it is. Boom. Chat does not want to give this guy in chat a Cubs-Phillies play. Well, we could talk about a Cubs-Phillies play here. That game does start up here pretty soon. Jovan, you got any plays in this early MLB game? Taijuan Walker versus Colin Reyes? Seems like the sharp POD that everybody's on is the Cubbies today. It's kind of scaring me.
I mean, I don't even know if it's the sharp POD. I think the Cubs are just getting nuked any single time they play.
Might be sharp and square, which is a drastic duo. Never pays.
I don't think any anti-Taijuan Walker bet is really ever sharp. It's just the one that people think makes sense, myself included, usually. Yeah. Because love fading him, even though he's been absolutely sigh to start this year for the most part. But I don't know. I don't know that I really have any interest in this game, period. I know the weather's pretty gross and maybe there's like a delay somewhere in there, but the fact that we have, I know it's obviously not just because of the rain, because of the wind coming in, like Taijuan Walker, Colin Rea at 8.5, probably tells you all you need to know that the offenses aren't exactly going to be up in this one. But I'm probably never going to lean with Taijuan Walker unless he's facing a super K-heavy team, which obviously in the Cubs he's not. So, I mean, I'm with the Cubs. It's hard to say there's not going to be runs in this game, but everything about it, line-wise, definitely screams there won't be.
Damn, Trent's on the Cubs. Okay.
Yeah, off.
Damn, all these new followers have to watch ads. I feel bad for them. Trent, you take a sales course this week? Take any B2B sales classes online this week? He's selling some subbies. Sure he can. We got Psycho Pain Gaming coming in here, dropping a subby.
He ain't watching ads.
He ain't watching any fucking ads. He said, screw that. I'm dropping the $5. I'm not watching these fucking ads. Sure he can.
He's got the free one with Prime.
Sure he can. Yeah, he said, no ads for me. W's.
Yeah, don't forget to use your Prime subby. If you got that.
Wow. What Look at this. Fat Girls. Look, he might be a snitch, but that's okay. He's telling us valuable info here. Trent was talking a lot of shit this morning, apparently. I don't know what that means, but he's talking a lot of shit this morning. Yep.
So sure.
Yep.
I'm going to start gatekeeping.
Okay. Unbelievable. Rumor has it Trent dropped out of Demon U. No shot.
No way he dropped out.
He dropped out before he even hit a slip.
I thought he did hit one.
No, he did.
It has a gobby in it. I don't care about the 2X, 82X, 67X. It's got to be all gobby. You're all
wow. That's
Call
Dean
Trent.
Goose dropping foot.
You know what Trent needs?
Foot
He doesn't
down.
graduate until he hits a diverse demon from different games.
Yeah, we need a portfolio.
The game stacks only get you a little progress towards
Yeah,
the
but it wasn't
undergrad.
in it, Trent. Wasn't in it. Put it in.
Wow.
DBU graduate,
I will say it's pretty soft closing out a demon lineup with the goblin hits allowed square from the other side. I will say it is kind of soft. I'm not saying the lineups don't count. That's Gooch saying that. It's not me. It's Gooch.
It's not about the payout, Trent. It's about graduating from Demon Jew.
Yeah,
It's not about the
it's
payout.
fine.
It's about
The
the
game
morals.
stacks are fine. You got to get your top multiplier there with the payout, but you don't graduate until you hit a diverse Johnson with players from different games, all demons. That's the rules.
Yeah, you're still enrolled, brother. And if you don't hit one in a month, you're expelled.
Sure he can, Goots. Sure he can. Dean Goots putting foot down. He said, I've had enough of these made-up rules. These
Goots
damn
is,
hooligans putting in these goblins. And I will say the one thing I can't get over, I guess, would be cashing a demon lineup and celebrating when you have a goblin in there. I could see that. I could see that angle, Goots. Sure.
Won a baseball game yesterday,
that's when my brain gets a little confused. I'm with you there.
Literally won a baseball game yesterday.
They did do that.
Won a baseball game.
You know what? We're not
How would
talking
you
enough.
beat the
We're
fucking
not
Pirates
talking.
in a 3-game
I was about to
series?
say, you just lost to the Jollies in a series and have to DoorDash Rav
He literally
Cat
lost
Express
to
for a whole
Raise It with
weekend.
Rav.
No way Rav's eating good, getting double orange chicken from Panda this
Dude,
weekend.
he's
getting a
about to
triple
get
tray.
double orange chicken, extra chow mein, like the whole nine.
Rav's panda addiction is something.
Oh, I already paid Rav. I'm going to have to fucking pay Primer. You better pay Primer. I'm going to show up with a knuckle sandwich at your front door, Trent. You better pay Primer. A deal's a deal. Deal's a deal. That was awesome when he came on the stream the other day. He said, what do you want to do? 1 unit Prime? Prime goes 5. Trent goes, all right, I'll do it. 5 units. Next thing you know, Prime's rich. Sure he can.
Rich.
Unbelievable. All right, let's keep moving to grooving. All right, because we're getting close to the finish line here, and I got a couple questions from the chat we got to talk about. Saw some people asking about this Red Sox game on Apple TV. Tanner Hoke, Lively on the bump for Cleveland. Jovan, this total's up from 8.5 to 9 as well. Hoke is coming off of a decent outing after, maybe the worst starting pitching performance I've seen in my entire life, the start before that. So I also don't think he's a very good pitcher. Bless his heart. He's certainly better than me. That's not the argument I'm making here, but compared to the other guys, I don't think he's that good. This is one of those guys that, by the way, I want to give Gooch some flowers here too. Gooch said season-long ERA square over 3.70, and that's probably one of the better squares you could have locked in. It's in one of them. Yeah, I forget which one.
In the BTO go well.
We listened. That puppy's in there. Hell yeah, Gooch. Great call so far, and I just don't think this guy's a good pitcher. Coming off a bad outing, would not mind fading him. Then I go look at some of Lively's squares up there for the Guardians, Jovan. I'm going to pull him back up here again, but they don't look too bad. They don't make it seem like he's going to give up, 10 runs and have one of the worst starts of all time. He's got that 2.5 earned run square. I guess you can make an argument coming off, a really good start that it's kind of weird, but it's against the Red Sox, everybody's favorite lineup and favorite team and favorite offense. So that kind of cancels that out a little bit, that bagel that he's coming off of. I guess my point is that I wouldn't be shocked if Lively goes out there and pitches okay, but he could go out there and pitch okay, still give up 2 runs, maybe even 3, and this game soars over. That's kind of my point here. I want to fade Hoke and back some runs. Total's up from 8.5 to 9. Are we getting it over? Are we getting some runs for the first time in a while on an Apple TV game, Jovan?
I don't know that we are, because I think Tanner Houck might pitch pretty well, to be honest with you. I know. He's coming
Wow.
off of like the Rays start. The Rays start is really the one that I'm counting as his actual last start, the one where he gave up double digits. Like the White Sox, I'm not fully counting that, but I think he pitches better, to be honest with you, when he doesn't go in trying to strike all these teams out. Which you're going in to play the Guardians, who do not strike out. I know their lineup is very different from day to day now, but I assume they're going to put out their normal lineup today. When he goes in with that and he tries to actually pitch to contact instead of what he did against the Rays, which was try and get every ball low and away, they weren't chasing, then he got in really bad counts, and then they started hitting the fastballs he had to throw down the middle. You go in with a plan against a team that you're going to have to pitch to contact to, that's actually when he's been a little better. So I think he might pitch okay today. Maybe not go out there and throw 6 shutout, but I think he'll be fine. I kind of like the Red Sox.
Wow. Okay. OG Sauer said Tanner will be optioned by mid-year. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, he's not a good
really good point. They got
Not a good
Bello
point.
coming back, and then Giolito's,
They got too
rehabbing
many
right
arms,
now.
man.
Yeah,
They got
he
so
might
many
never.
arms.
He might pull a Grayson Rodriguez goods.
He might be bad, I know, but I'm saying that if Tanner's this bad, they could,
No,
send
I
him
just
back.
mean Giolito. He's supposed to have been rehabbing and getting closer for the last month
know.
now. It's just keeps
Sitting on
getting
my
pushed
IR
back.
on my fantasy team, so
Yeah.
I'm aware.
They all got that Kate Cavalli disease, man. Hate to see it.
Yeah, for sure going to be an
Squeak
Oriole.
that one in there too. Kate Cavalli.
Well, Rav's sending me trades about the Orioles trading for friggin' Andrew Haney.
I mean, that would
Why
be
does that matter right now?
would be great for them at that point.
Hoffy said Orioles can pick him up.
Yeah, I mean they could try. And look, the
I'm
Orioles pitching university, they could probably get him tweaked up and have him performing better.
Yeah, we're really good at developing pitching. Yep.
Well, while we're talking about developing pitching, how about Brandon Young today, Goods?
That dude sucks.
I don't know that he sucks.
He doesn't suck.
I don't know that he sucks.
He doesn't have one good or cool quality on the bomb. Doesn't have an above average fastball. Doesn't have an above average off speed. He just does everything okay.
Well,
He
he's
doesn't
only
do anything
pitched one game, so we don't have much of a sample size here. But
well, that's kind of the rundown on him. He's not. You know how they grade all these guys on an 80 scale, and for pitchers it might be a little different. But
Yeah,
he's not above average really in anything. He's mid.
really bad. Really bad.
He's mid. Sorry, good.
But
you, Krabs.
I mean, it was a really bad debut, Krabs, but that game was weird for a couple different reasons. Obviously, it was his debut in a big spot against the
sure he gets a pass
at the time.
Debut doesn't
At the
count.
time, Cy Young favorite, but it was also really good hitting conditions there, which didn't really help him either.
Yeah, you're right.
And I guess the Reds' offense got really hot. I guess starting with some of that game. So I don't know. I was staring at his 2.5 earned run square, which I don't know if I've seen as big a move as maybe this one. It was a normal square and was like normal odds. Now I look on the books because it was off and I was curious. He's minus 175 to the less than 2.5 earned runs, which big time jump, at least.
He was favored in that Reds game and it fully flipped. I don't know if that was more the books knowing that Hunter Green was going to get mucked or knowing that he would at least be serviceable. But
yeah,
I mean, now he's only even money. So I don't know. The O's continue to get respect anyways. Doesn't make any sense, but here we are.
Well, I can answer what to bet on in this game with a very simple question. What's the sharp play in this game? And it's a very easy question.
Probably the Orioles.
I think
certainly the Orioles.
I think today it might be that we might snap that streak, Krabs, of the short plays.
I've been monitoring it. I mean, we've got the last 5, it's gone 2-2. So it's coming off of was yesterday technically Orioles in a sharp spot? Would you say with that line?
I think we did say that it was, but
yeah,
and they won.
Yeah, I feel like that one was probably a little in between. I'll give them the sharp spot.
They came through in a sharp spot 4 games ago, and then 3 and 2 games ago they did not, like the system typically holds. And then yesterday they actually did. So you're right. I mean, it's definitely still up in the air. It has not been as accurate this season. Things might be changing. Things could be changing this year.
Again, you know what I guess you could say, if we're counting yesterday as the sharp spot for the Orioles, that was the one time in the series they were a dog in a sharp spot. And they came through. And I think we talked about that too. Like before the series, like the sharp favorite spots are not coming through sans the Hunter Green game, but The dog spots seem to be when
They have a chance when they're a dog.
up. Yeah.
You're right. It's
And
when they're that sharp ass minus 130, minus 140, they never come through. You're right.
Yes. And they're facing
You're
Casey Mize, who has been on an unbelievable run in the last handful of starts.
I do have to mention that in Brandon Hyde's interview yesterday after the game, he said he's going to enjoy the win against the Nats, and we're not really thinking about tomorrow yet, so he's just so unlocked. So there's that aspect as well.
Enjoy the win against the Nats.
Yeah, he said he's going to go have a cold one. Okay, Brandon.
Yeah, you think he's earned that?
Yep, we're under 500. Yeah, you earned that 2-1 win.
You think Coach Hyde's earned a cold one after salvaging the series and getting one win against the fucking dog shit?
Did you see his interview about Mateo yesterday too?
No, but he needs to play more.
No, he doesn't.
He's really bad.
He's batting under 100.
I'm a Mateo guy.
Okay,
it's very hard.
They asked him why he's in the lineup, and he said, "Oh, he hasn't been in the lineup in a while. I want to get him some ABs." It's like, oh, so you're worried about his mental health on the bench, like that he won't play. Okay. Meanwhile, Jackson Holliday's hitting great against lefties now.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's hard to play. It's hard to do well when you don't play. I guess that's what he's trying to do.
We don't need Jorge Mateo in the lineup. I'm sorry. We just don't.
You also don't need to play, 35 guys.
What do you mean?
The Orioles like to play a lot of people. You got a lot of, you talk about all the time. The lineup's different every day. You got platoons. You got, only guys only facing one arm. It's really hard to get in a routine. It's hard to get better, and it's hard to work on stuff and improve when you're not facing live pitching. You can only do so much in the cages. You can only do so much off the tee. You can only do so much non-in-game work, where it's really hard to get consistently good and better if you're not playing every day. So unless you have everybody bought in, I always thought it was an interesting move with the Orioles doing the platoon bullshit when you got a lot of young guys who are still trying to prove themselves, and maybe some guys who aren't as, happy to grab pine because they're not at the end of their careers. They're not cool with that yet. They're still trying to earn their keep.
You're preaching to the choir, but we can move on from the O's.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but
I might have to put foot down after this and take the O's.
Yeah. Well, they are plus money. They got a chance.
I'm going to add them to the card.
Okay. Jovan, are the Tampa Bay Lightning winning this weekend? I've seen a lot of questions about the Lightning for you today.
I mean, the second you could tell once a bunch of the guys went down in game one, when they like started to fight back for a little bit, and then guys started leaving the bench, the life just was sucked out of them. It's like, I don't know if I don't think they're healthy enough to do it now, which is the problem.
Yeah, they might not be.
No,
they might be toast. I'm hearing the baseball game is delayed. The Cubs and Phillies game is delayed.
Yeah, they just sent it out.
Okay. Can we pivot to Pick a Pro real quick? Can we go look at the NBA splits for tonight?
Yeah,
I would love to check out some Pick a Pro splits here in the NBA for the playoffs tonight and see what people are betting on over there on that beautiful app, that beautiful platform. Pick a Pro. If you guys are not checking out Pick a Pro, or at least doing the free trial to see if it's something you'd use on your laptop or your iPad or whatever, if you're betting every day, you should at least use the free trial, see if you like it. It's pretty fucking good. You got so many different features here, and you can still check out the splits as well if you just click on the games. I want to see what people are betting on in the Celtics and the Magic game tonight, even with no Tatum and with the questionable Tatum, with that injury, they're still getting bet a ton. Not surprised to see that, Jovan, but and we're seeing a little bit of movement as well. Celtics up from 4.5 from 4 to 4.5. Do we think the Celtics keep on moving and grooving? I know they didn't cover that last game, but it was certainly close. They still won by 9. It wasn't like it was, down to the wire exactly, but are the Magic dead? I guess is a better way to phrase it. Kind of like your Lightning you were just talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if the Magic are quite dead, to be honest with you. I would not be shocked at all to see them steal one, and I don't think they're going to steal any others in the series, but if there was anyone to get, not that that's reinventing the wheel by saying the first game at home might be that spot. It might be that spot.
People in chat are talking about the total, and I can't tell you the last time I've seen a total sub 200 in an NBA game.
Their last game was.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That found its way over. So maybe this is one where you get the under from it.
I mean, this is a textbook contrarian spot for an under here. Game 1, in this series goes under, total drops. Game 2 goes over, total stays the same exact number. Super low already. Looks like a free more then, right? You're thinking, oh, these guys are NBA players, they're professionals. Even without Tatum, these squads should be able to put up 100 each. Cashes over with these. It's a big 2-5. After we just saw it happen in game 2. Replica, right? Same shit. Just different location, I guess. Because now we're at Orlando. First couple were in Boston. And we're seeing this total at the same number after an easy over in game 2. I love this under. I might add it to the cards.
It's definitely a Krabs play.
Yep.
Even though I think there will be potentially another injury added to the fold. We'll see who ends up actually playing. So, like, Tatum's not new news, but I know, like, Drew's questionable. I think Brown might have gotten banged up too. So we'll see if, like, the injury report stays the same. But I agree with you.
All right. So low. Such a low total.
Really low.
Pacers and Bucks. Bucks down 0-2, but laying 5.5. I mean, they are home. They have Giannis. Are you surprised to see them catching steam and up to 5.5?
No, because everybody's nuking them. This seems to be the most popular pick just from what I've seen on the slate so far, which is not surprising. They're down 0-2. They're at home. I don't think anybody clean cut going into the series would tell you the Bucks would be down 3-0, especially after getting to game 3 at home. So, yeah, I don't feel strong enough to fade it, but I wouldn't be surprised. I guess there's a couple decently obvious looking spots in the slate tonight. You can make an argument for them being won at every game. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the one that maybe fails, even if you get like a win and no cover.
Really? You know, I'm blown. I've been missing out on some coins in this series ever since that graphic went viral. And you know these guys have seen that fucking graphic too, especially in the NBA. These guys are all on social media. They're on their phones. They're tapped in. The Pacers being the most overrated squad in the NBA and Tyrese Halliburton being the most overrated player in the NBA. Jesus Christ.
I was realizing as I was watching him splooge in game 2, I was like, dude, how did we not take something? That was literally the day of the game. I dropped on social media and he splooged.
He might win the whole goddamn thing after seeing shit like that. I mean, talk about a motivator, right? You're already having a tough year. People are already calling for your heads. Your best season was your rookie year. People are starting to ask cues right before you head into the playoffs. Again, against a series against the best player in the NBA, potentially, debatably, right? Giannis. And I know you get Dame back as well, too. Add that to the fucking list. Make your life even harder. This team doesn't have a fucking shot. So overrated. Nobody likes the Pacers. Halliburton taking a step back, getting roasted so much. I mean, I get the hate a little bit, chats. I mean, this team peaked and looked their best like 2 years ago, and they went on a little postseason run. Since then, we haven't seen much, and we've just kind of seen them slowly get a little bit worse, I feel like. Nothing crazy, right? But this regular season was nothing impressive to me, although their record was pretty impressive still. So maybe they felt a little, I don't know, disrespected is probably the right words. And they're playing like it. Tyrese certainly is as well. Most overrated player in the NBA. He's playing like a star again. Maybe that's all he needed to see.
So it's also like, I feel like you don't even have to know X's and O's of basketball very much to watch these, at least the first 2 games of the series, and you can clearly see the Carlisle's coaching circles around Doc Rivers. It's like incredibly apparent. They're just picking on Dame. They're exploiting every single switch they do defensively. It's really bad. So like if I'm betting on a coach to bounce back with a game plan, I'll tell you who I have seen much more from, and that is JJ Redick and the Lakers, who play in the other game. They threw a zone at Anthony Edwards and the T-Wolves and brought every single adjustment necessary for them to compete in game 2. Doc Rivers did not do that. It was really bad.
All right, real quick, give me your winner in the Lakers and T-Wolves before we get to the squad right here.
I think it's the Lakers.
Lakers?
Lakers.
ML? Plus check.
Feels like a last shot game. So, I mean, I'll take the points, but I do think they win.
Always. I agree. All right, let's get to the squad right here. I don't want to run over today. Why don't we go ahead and craft it up and get a winner flowing for the Friday night action tonight? We got plenty of games, plenty of winners, 0 excuses. Goots, if you don't mind, run that shit. I want to see that damn train. Jovan, I need you to tell the people what you told me earlier today when I got back from from my doctor's appointment. What'd you say? The first thing you told me this morning about the Nats game.
It's giving me some mini Meg vibes. That total in DC.
Interesting. Still at 9.5 or?
Interested. So it was definitely right as we were getting up here is when it was climbing from 9 to 9.5. So maybe there's 9s hanging out there somewhere, but I'm not seeing them.
Yeah, I'm seeing more 9.5s. Sure, the under super juicy. I don't think it's going to matter too much. We'll put 9.5 because we're transparent and honest men up here. And we're not trying to, we're not out to get people or give them, wrong numbers or lie to them or deceive them. So we'll put 9.5. Okay. We don't want to cheat anybody. And I am seeing more 9.5s as of right now.
It's definitely possible you can get a 9 maybe somewhere throughout the day and it gets there, but
sure.
We want double digit anyway, Krabs.
You want me to put the play in here that I know is turning green for me, or you want me to Canadians ML?
I knew that was coming from you.
I think we go 2 plays, 2 winners. Unless you really want to get college baseball involved.
Can live without this one.
I think we go 2 plays, 2 winners. B Clem, I know. I'm sorry, bro. It's a win-win. I'm not happy about it, but it's a win-win. I'll get plenty of shit from it from my buddies later. Don't worry. They're going to make me feel really bad about it. Really bad. Especially if they win. 2 plays, 2 winners, chat. Okay? You got a play on the ice, the Canadians on the ML, and you got Jovan's mini Meg, the over on the Diamonds. I'll tell you right now, the Canadians aren't losing. So do you want a plus money play on the ice? Or do you want Jovan's mini Meg? That's a tough cue. Sheesh. Yeah, Trent, you heard mini Meg. You did not hear Meg. Okay.
Mini. No Krabs graphic.
Mini Meg. Get those votes in, chat. Hurry up, go. We've got these surge streams starting up right after this. Rumor has it Trent's doing a little giveaway on the surge stream today. Trent dialed in today. W's, my man. Excited to see what you got on the surge stream today and listen to some sell jobs. Get those votes in, chat. Hurry up, go. If you're watching on YouTube and you're wondering, where is this poll? Why can't I vote in it? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because the poll is in the Twitch chat. Make your way over to Twitch. It cannot be easier. Don't be scared. It's free. Go check out the Twitch. Lock in your vote. You still got about 30 seconds. Hurry up, go. Yes, I am on the Yankees, Big Cheesy. We got B Clem coming in, resubbing. Got to be the Nats over. He's saying he really does not want to fade the Capitals tonight. And you know what? I don't blame him. If people can't get over that, that's okay. That's okay. I think I'm the weird one for being able to do it. I actually agree with you guys on that. Okay.
Going there and doing it, I guess, is definitely odd when you did that, but
I do that a lot.
Money's green, Krabs.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Money 15 coming in, resubbing as well. I love lurking and always enjoy the content. Keep it up, fellas. W Money. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for the subby. Okay. Get those votes in. Hurry up. Go. Hurry up. Go. Who's it going to be? It's going to be the Nats over in DC tonight. Welcome home, Soto. It's only right. We back some runs. This game is going to be must-see TV. This one's going to mean something. Excited for this one tonight.
Is Trent going to be up and active tonight or what? So we can be splooging, Krabs. We can be splooging.
Let's see. We got a 5-unit sub whale coming in here to close out BTLs from Money 1510. Sheesh.
Shout out Money.
All right. Let's fucking go, dudes. All right. Let's close it down. We're already over. Trent surge stream starting up here right after this, guys. Stick around. Do not go anywhere. We'll see you guys on Monday. Same time, same place. We'll be.